Hello, I am Jason Hahn, and we are back with some lovely Screen Rant manga writers and me. And we've done a couple practice runs where we've talked about a couple chapters, and there's just too much to talk about for a couple minutes. So we decided to use this opportunity to just talk about One Piece for a good chunk of time, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. But again, I am Jason Hahn, and I am joined by two very passionate One Piece fans. Would you guys like to introduce yourself? Ben, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'm Ben. I've been a writer at Screen Rant for a couple months now, and I'm interested in all things nerdy, so manga, comics, and you name it. One Piece was actually the first manga that I read, so it held a very special place in my heart. And yeah, it's probably my favorite manga series. So I'm very excited for this discussion.
Nice. How long have you been reading it?
I've been reading it since like 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say. So I'm still relatively new. I haven't been reading manga for like 10 years, but I've read a lot of series it's sort of like when I read One Piece, the floodgates opened, and now I've started read a lot since then.
Very cool, man. Next.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Francesco. I'm a senior writer for the comic section of Screen Rant. And yeah, I'm a long time manga reader. Like, I think I can pinpoint the very first manga I have ever read. It was a volume of Dragon Ball, the Italian edition. This was, I think, when Dragon Ball was still running, so I guess I'm the old guy here. and I even remember what volume it was when Vegeta gets out of the how do you call it in English, the spirit room.
There's a few renditions, but the time space, man, what did they call it?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
hyperbolic time chamber.
Yes.
Yeah, that's when Vegeta and Trunks get out of it and they face Cell, and they are so much stronger. But then Vegeta says, "Oh yeah, go on, upset the other cyborg." That was probably the very first manga. And then so I grew up on that generation of manga. So it was Dragon Ball. I'm a huge JoJo fan. If there are any JoJo fans out there. Yeah, I've been reading it for 20 years or whatever. But I guess more than 20 years. It must be, because that was 98, 97. So it must be, oh boy, a lot of time. And Dr. Slump, I don't know if any of you guys remember Akira Toriyama, other famous manga that was amazing too. And Saint Seiya, Hokuto no Ken, all these. And then I guess I moved on to the famous generation of manga such as One Piece, Bleach, Naruto. But yeah, I started reading One Piece back when it came out, and I guess in Italy was 2000, because the manga started in 99, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was 97 or 99. I think you're right.
Yeah, they had like a 22-year anniversary recently, so
that's how long I
Well, hell yeah, guys. I think probably a good point to start this One Piece discussion would probably be, what are your favorite arcs? I'd say mine to this day is probably still Enies Lobby. The whole plot with Robin and how well they slowly just gave you little tidbits of her personality and what was going on in the background. And it just really, it's kind of the point of the series where they really open up the world government conflict, like the whole mystery of the age that's been scrubbed from history. It's kind of where, for me, a lot of the conspiracy stuff opened up, and it was just one of the best instances of them building like impossible odds. And each chapter they beat those odds, and each person got to fight to their absolute maximum, I felt. And that's kind of the thing I think a lot of shonen anime is you want to see your heroes get to their limit and see what they're capable of. And Enies Lobby just delivered that in spades for everybody. And the Gum Gum Gatling is still one of the greatest moments in the entire series for me. Just he takes the third killing blow to the chest and then still gets up and just it's just man, that's a good one.
Yeah, probably still the best fight in the series for my money. Like, despite all the fights we've gotten later with like Luffy versus Katakuri and like, I mean, that one just hits.
Oh yeah, because at that point, like all we know about Lucci is just he's not a guy to mess with. He's always the guy that the government set on the mission, just like, okay, that needs done. We need no doubt that this is going to work. Send that guy. And I'm still really curious. I don't know if they'll ever explain it on how all of those CP9 agents they lost and then they got promoted. And it's just like the government.
Just two of them, right? It's just two of them. It's Lucci and Kaku.
Yeah.
Oh,
there
really?
was like a cover story detailing that, I think.
Oh, right? Okay. See. I was kind of not privy to the cover stories until like the last couple of years. So there's probably a couple that I've not read.
Like if you look on like the One Piece wiki or something, I'm sure you can find which chapters it is and just go to those chapters.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, but I think my favorite. Okay, I agree that the Enies Lobby arc was amazing. But I think my favorite moment, maybe one of my favorite arcs, is the Arlong one. That's where you see that I'm old. Like, I think that's the best moment in the whole 24 whatever years of the manga is when Nami is crying and she finally asks for help after she has refused like asking for help to Luffy and the others for all this time, and she has hidden her true story and whatever, and she finally she breaks down, starts crying, and finally asks for help, and Luffy puts his hat on her head. Something he never I guess he never did that again, and then he finally moves on to face Arlong. And that was such a great, I mean, the build up to that moment was amazing because it was not a straight up, fight against the bad guys. You had this feeling that somehow this confrontation was not going to happen because Nabi was betraying them and all these things going on. And then finally, when that happens, was amazing. But then, of course, we have to mention the War for the Summit, right?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite arc right there.
Because I think that's a good point, because One Piece is great for these two kind of things. Like, one is these emotional stories that when they go very deep in the characters, especially with the flashbacks, and you get really invested in that. And you have these great moments as the one with Lucci, the one with Nami, but we could name a million of them. But then you have all these, the crazy stuff like the War for the Summit, where all of a sudden these more and more stronger people go out, and
world's strongest.
It's one thing. Yeah, it's one thing after the other. You get the admirals, and then you get Whitebeard, and then you get something crazier than that. It goes on and on and on, and that connects to what you're talking about before, Jason, about the whole world government and the conspiracies and all. So this is the other aspect, I think, of the manga that I think that these two things go together, making it a great manga that it is.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned both Arlong Park and Marineford in the War for the Summit, because in my mind, Arlong Park is like the culmination of everything that had happened up to that point in the manga. And it's really like if the first 100 chapters are the prologue, it's really like the main punch of the prologue, right? It's what everything's building towards. And then I feel like Marineford is like the culmination of everything that happened pre-time skip, where like everything that has happened comes into play there. All the old enemies that we fought, all the sort of tensions that have been brewing, they're all there. And it's all for that moment.
Absolutely.
And just that moment when all the admirals are standing, crossing their arms and stopping Whitebeard, whatever it was the fruit power or the haki or whatever it was doing. So these are the moments that you talk about with your friends, So, oh, you see that?
Oh yeah. And every chapter in both of those arcs, is just perfect. Like, it's incredible.
That's I stopped watching the anime, so I guess I have to.
Yeah, you should pick it up again, man. Yeah, because we kind of brought up last time we talked. The anime's gotten into an interesting point because Oda's got so much more story to tell, so he's kind of streamlining the chapters. I think he's even said like everything you're reading right now is One Piece on fast forward, essentially, because he's created so many characters, and there's so many moments that they just don't have time to do. So there's a lot of like off-screen fights and this and that. The anime has kind of filled that void. Like I'm a couple episodes behind, but I just recently watched Nami and Usopp versus Ulti and her brother Pepe. I remember those names just because Ulti keeps on yelling it over and over again. But it kind of
are they brother and sister?
Yes.
The manga doesn't mention that. The manga does not mention that they're brothers and sister. No,
I think that I think she calls him like Aniki or Oni-san or something. Like, but they might not actually be like literal brothers and sisters. But I think
I definitely I'm not sure if they've
have that sort of like relationship.
Page 9 is the name of the guy, right? Page 9.
Yeah, it's Page something. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, his name's not Pepe.
Well, she calls him Pepe.
Yeah. But I definitely got that impression that they're brother and sister. But that like I remember in the manga, it's just they give Nami her moment of just say he's not going to be the Pirate King and you'll live. And she can't bring herself to do it. The anime like shows a lot more of everything leading up to that. Like they even said in the manga, I think like, oh no, I can't take another headbutt like that, or I can't take another attack like that. And we never saw that. So the anime is kind of filling that all in, which I think is it's so much better than back in Dressrosa, where it was just like they kind of do the Dragon Ball Z anime thing where we're going to stare at you and then we're going to cut to the other guy staring, and now we're going to go halfway across the world and see what Bulma's doing as she's struggling to jump into a spaceship. And oh man, I was watching a Z episode the other day because I was just catching up, and there's literally an episode where they're like, it's Yamcha, Bulma, and Marin flying, and they literally cut to them for a good 15 seconds, and Marin is just like hee, and everyone looks at her and they're like, why are you laughing? And then she laughs again, and then they like just go back to what they're doing, and that's the end of the fucking scene. Like, there's nothing happens.
But I feel for the guys who do the anime, because they have to make
every week
these episodes, and they have to wait for. Sometimes they just don't have the material to do it. So what are we gonna do?
And they do an admirable job considering that.
Absolutely.
I think the worst time was the Majin Buu saga. I remember some really, really, really weird stuff going on. And the Majin Buu, the Buu arc.
The Buu arc, yeah.
There was some weird stuff going on.
Time filler. Back to One Piece. I kind of what you were saying on just how everything leads up to the next big thing. And as I said, like One Piece manga is like fast forwarded right now with it's so condensed, but he just fits so many details and so many little things that again are all leading up to like something bigger happening. And honestly, like we're getting to that right now. Like everything led up to Dressrosa happening, and then we met Luffy's Grand Fleet, and that was kind of a moment that a lot of people, me included, before you got in, Francesco, I was talking about how now with Wano, say plot twist, Luffy gets knocked out and he needs another 10 minutes and people need to help him out. I really don't think that anybody's left of that right now. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it did something like that, I'm so much more emotionally invested in all the characters right now compared to Dressrosa, where it's just all these other characters we just met. I didn't really have any care if they made it or not, their backstory. Right. But I think it's a lot like what My Hero Academia did with the class 1A, 1B thing, where I think the big reason that we had that arc was to set up this final arc that's happening in My Hero Academia. So when class 1B shows up, you know their abilities, and you kind of have that urgency. I think Dressrosa, the biggest arc that it was at that time, was just set up. I think that Luffy's Grand Fleet is going to make
even the fights, even the fights were sort of easy for all of them, right? All the enemies were not. I mean, they were lackluster, I guess you would say. It was supposed to be the first big test for the upgraded abilities of the crew after the time skip.
The
fishmen guys, because the fishmen guys, they were just
an army of 10,000 fishmen. They were nothing.
Dressrosa was supposed to be where they got into real fights, but they win them so easily. But actually, a point that why one was much better. Well, better. It's different. Like, it's a point I made in my last article. It's okay. I won't make any spoilers. Okay, let's
for 10:43. By the time this recording comes out, 10:43 will probably be out. We haven't gotten
definitely. To it so let's stop at 10:42, right? So let's suppose that Luffy has lost that fight. Okay, let's start from that idea. I won't say if that's true or not.
Sure, yeah.
And the article, in my article, I said that it actually makes sense because that's not Luffy's fight. Oda spent so much time detailing Wano's history and how terrible Kaido's interest in the country was, and how tragic everything that happened in these 20 years has been. And then you have it's an actual uprising, an actual revolution against the tyrant. Like, the main characters, and not the Straw Hats, it's the samurais and the Mink tribe and all these people have waited 20 years for that to happen. So they actually were not when the battle began, and you have the 9 scabbards going straight for Kaido and actually being able to apparently wound him. Then we learned that actually they didn't do much, but I thought that was amazing because usually you expect, the main characters will fight the bad guys and everyone else is just part of the background. Well, instead, so that's a reward for the reader because you've spent how many chapters was the whole Wano story?
It's the longest arc so far. It's
spent so many years. You spent so many years reading about these people and why they're willing to give their lives for their land and for their dead master, classic samurai stuff, right? And then it's so rewarding to see that they are the ones who actually do that. Of course, that didn't happen right after that, but that moment was amazing, and that's why I think that even if Luffy actually lost that fight, it would still work because then it's bringing Kaido down is a job for the Wano people, not for Luffy. Actually, they did so much really, right? Without them, nothing of this would have happened. But I think it makes sense if he's not the one who finishes Kaido.
And it would be an interesting parallel to how Luffy faced Kaido, lost, then came back and fought Kaido. The Scabbards faced Kaido, lost, and so maybe they'll come back and fight Kaido again. So
half of Kinemon and
I don't know about that, but
well, some of them at least.
That was honestly my least favorite part of the arc so far.
Kaido's whole operation has been wasted, right? He should have lost. He should have lost most of his army and his weapons and his alliance with Big Mom, and his plans are ruined. So it's all these things. So essentially, he lost already because he's planned to build this. He's planned to build this amazing army and go against the government, because that's what he wanted to do, right? Go for the One Piece, topple the world government and whatever. He says himself, how many years will it take me to rebuild? It's over, mate.
Yeah. I mean, even the downfall of King and Queen. I mean, he's had those guys, especially with King's flashback. Like he's been his right hand for forever. And
it's not like they can come back. Like I suppose King is dead and Queen just flew into the sea and he can swim. Of course, he will come back like a year from now.
Man,
like no one ever dies.
Like he landed on some island or whatever, right?
Right.
He was a great character, honestly. It was
he breathed so much levity, and he gets so much more time to shine in the anime. He is a scene stealer in the anime because they add so much more quirkiness and dancing, and he just randomly goes into a dance party and lights, and the budget just explodes for the dance scenes for some reason. But yeah, Queen's voice actor is hilarious too. But like there's a scene where it's when he throws the antidote at Apu, and Zoro is just like, I don't have time for this, and he like sends like a hockey blast at Queen, and they have him essentially be the Looney Tunes character, where just anytime something mildly surprising happens, Queen makes the biggest like eyes exploding out of his face and screaming, and it's a fun time.
That was in the manga. That was in the manga too. I remember that.
Yeah. It's a whole another level when you get the voice actor's performance onto it, because he does such a great job. But yeah, I'm really hoping we see some more Queen in the future. There's kind of the whole like, does Kaido get knocked out? I mean, his whole thing, like his whole backstory seems to be he wants to die in the most epic way possible. Like he looks at Whitebeard's death, and I mean, even with Roger's final words, he started the whole thing, like the whole hunt for the One Piece. So I almost think it would be poetic, and Kaido would truly lose if he didn't get, the big battle. Like if he didn't get the big finishing thing, like if it's just something.
Yeah, which is what happened in chapter 1042, right? It's clear in the very last panel when he sees Oden in
the disappointment.
Luffy. It's disappointing because it's repeating. I mean, history it's repeating, and he's getting the biggest disappointment of his life.
Yeah.
And poor CP0 guy. I can tell you that. It's not a big spoiler, but
no, it's the last panel like basically sealed that guy's fate.
It's again, what Oda is so good at is telling so much with so little. I mean, just those last couple panels, you're just like, okay, CP0 guy is he's not in a good place. He's not going to be in a good place in the next chapter. And
and just a tiny
a preview. We got a preview
of Oda. No, I mean Oden.
The shot of the like Oda and the shot of like his eye and like the sort of shadow.
It's everything you need, and it tells you so much about Kaido in that moment. You see, he actually he's I mean, he didn't get over that, which makes him a more complex character than just your regular villain.
Well, it's just go ahead, Ben.
It's really refreshing because I feel like a lot of manga out there, they tell and not show. Like they would have had Kaido say like, why did you do that or something right at the moment when CP0 did that. But like One Piece, like Oda knows that, his art will speak for him. He doesn't have to have Kaido like explain how he's feeling at that point. He might next chapter, Kaido might go into a tirade against CP0 guy. But for now, we know how Kaido feels in that moment.
Just from his face, the expression of anguish on his face, it's amazing.
And I mean, I'm incredibly curious where we're going to go from here. I mean, we have so much that we need to resolve. I mean, obviously, we got stuff going on. We need to have anything with Shanks. I do you guys think that Shanks is gonna survive to see Luffy again?
Oh
I'm kind of
Yeah.
thinking.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm
Oh
almost
yeah.
thinking he might get taken out by Blackbeard or something.
No, there's got to be some resolution to, like, Oda's too good at like laying plot points and then resolving them later on for him to just be like, yeah, Luffy like meeting up with Shanks and trying to return the hat and stuff. Yeah, no,
I think
we're just
that we will. If the one arc ever ends, then we will have sort of a relief, very brief. I mean, very few chapters where maybe they meet up with Shanks, and it's just time for resting. And I mean, we don't know what Shanks' actual goal in life is.
Yeah,
right.
Like
because we don't know what he wants to do. Why? I mean, he shouldn't be in competition with Luffy unless they both want to go find One Piece. But Shanks never made any moves. I guess he wants because he was on a Roger crew, and probably he wants to accomplish the same that Roger did. But I mean, everyone's gonna go for the road poneglyphs now.
Yeah,
and there is an interesting theory that what happens at the end of the one arc, we will see that Blackbeard went to Whole Cake Island, which is left mostly unguarded right now, and he will get to Wano that's there, and then he will appear in Wano at the end of the battle and just steal Kaido's poneglyph.
Oh, that'd be nuts. We need more Blackbeard in the series, I will say. Like,
yeah, I almost say he's as mysterious as Shanks. I mean, we've gotten Blackbeard's his goal. We know his outreach, and we know where and what he wants to accomplish. We don't have that with Shanks. We are consistently anytime we see Shanks, he seems to be trying to warn the world of Blackbeard almost.
Well, we don't quite know with when he met with the five elders. We don't know which pirate.
There's a theory that Shanks is actually a celestial dragon.
Oh,
he was found by Roger at God Island.
God Island,
where
the rocks and
because the rocks, they were there to kill a bunch of celestial dragons, right?
Yeah.
So there's a chance that when they fled, they left a child there, and Roger took him in and raised him. Because otherwise, how in the Horde he could just nonchalantly breathe in
the reverie.
And talk with him. He's one of the most wanted pirates in the world. So
well, I mean, it's kind of the whole. I think it's the same thing on how he ended Marineford. Like, he just showed up, and people are like, "Oh, all right, well, we can't handle that. Like, we can't handle everything he's got." So is it a power thing, or is it a respect thing? It just kind of adds even more mystery to Shanks for me, because we've never seen him fight, and
there's a theory also that Blackbeard. There's a theory that Blackbeard is Rock's son.
Oh yeah, based on the character designs.
Because his ship is called Saber of Quebec, I think.
Oh, and that's Rock's
a bunch of other stuff. So that would be an interesting connection between the two, right?
Yeah, I almost see that
happened on God Island. Maybe we'll get the God Island flashback now in Kaido.
I feel like I feel like we'll get hints, because we're definitely getting a Kaido flashback. That's no question about that, given the brief glimpses we've seen. But like, I feel like a full, like Rock's flashback and all that stuff, especially if Blackbeard is Rock's son. Like, I feel like that's coming in the Blackbeard arc, when Luffy and Blackbeard are really
definitely
fighting head on.
And I have bad news for you guys, and that's after chapter 10-3 is out in a couple of days, I guess. Then there is a break for a week.
Okay.
And with the way that the chapter ends, you are going to hate it.
Well, it's like how the last break happened right when Momo was like, yeah, Janisha's coming, and he was a companion to Joy
worse.
Boy.
It's worse than that.
Oh no.
I'm almost anticipating it's going to be like the Desirose. I wasn't reading it week to week at this point, but I've heard the worst moment for a lot of fans in One Piece history is his fight against Don Flamingo. And it says, all right, well, I guess I'm going to have to whip out black screen, no details. And it's just the bubble says Gear 4. Break next week.
Yeah.
And so I'm almost anticipating something like that because I'm
much
erasing.
worse than that.
Oh,
it's
no.
Much worse than
Oh
that.
no.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
I think it's the worst tease in the history of
The
manga ever.
the Antissa.
It's
Patient.
terrible, guys. I hate it already. Like I just look at the Japanese scans and people saying, "Oh, this is what's happening," and I hate it. Like
I'm excited. This is just getting me more excited. I mean, those 2 weeks are going to be rough. Like it's going to be
really.
Yeah, but I'm just hyped that it means that in 2 weeks we're gonna get something crazy. So.
Yeah, in
absolutely.
2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we're gonna get the answer to a lot of questions. Like a lot.
See,
Okay.
whenever
maybe.
Yeah, maybe
right.
it'll be like,
Flashback.
vague hinting, but
yeah. Personally, anytime there's a break or something, I usually just, all right, I guess I'll catch up on some of the anime. Or there's actually a really good PlayStation 4 One Piece game called World Seeker. And it's beautiful and a lot of fun once you unlock stuff. I've actually thought about trying to do like a YouTube video where I just summarize the story and try to put that out so then One Piece fans who don't play games or don't have time to sink 30 hours into it can enjoy it, because it's definitely cool. So yeah, while we're on break, we're gonna have to find some other One Piece things to chew on. But yeah, I mean, it's just where are we going next after? I mean, Kaido's got to get defeated, and I mean, they say that since Punk Hazard, everything's been leading to Wano. Yeah. And I think Oda even said when he initially planned out One Piece, he didn't plan any of the warlords, which almost doubled the length of the series. His original plot was just Luffy getting a band together and then they take out the Yonkos. So he's been formulating this for so long, and we're about to get the end of the Yonkos. And since the beginning of Punk Hazard, it's all been leading up to these with those arcs. And they say this next part we're going to, it is the final part, but it's not exactly like one arc. It's going to be a whole nother saga type thing. And we need to see I can't remember the name of the area, but the place where the giants are from.
Elbath.
Yeah. Elbath, yeah. I think Elbath is something that we're definitely going to see. God Island, if it still exists. Yes, Vegapunk is probably one of the biggest things I'm most curious about. I think that obviously just everything Vegapunk's accomplished. We might get the full explanation on Devil Fruits also, because at this point, they just all seem so specific and tailor-made that it's less and less believable that it's a natural thing.
There's a lot to discover also, because I mean, all the again teasing that they did and what the government knows about them.
Yeah.
And but the one prediction I want to make is that we will not get another island arc. Okay, so we will not get another separate arc when they go somewhere and fix the problems of that place, whatever that is. I think from now on we will just get the straight main storyline.
Yeah, and because there's so many big moving pieces now, it would be really weird for them to be like everything that led up to Wano. Now let's go back to this little island.
And that's not gonna happen. And also, I mean, this is the best final arc relating to a specific place, right? So anything else you do after that would be
I will say I do have one nitpick about that prediction in that, like,
Okay.
I do think Elbaf will get its own arc, but I do think it won't be like a solving necessarily the problems on the island, but it'll be like something else is happening on Elbaf. Like I've heard a theory that like they'll meet Shanks's crew on Elbaf.
Yeah, it will be the setting for something, but not. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think that Oda, like, Elbaf's just been in the series for so long, and like we have been getting hints as to like its governing structure with like Big Mom's flashback and things like that. So there's got to be some like.
I think that's Usopp's one of Usopp's big like hanging plot threats is going to Elbath ever since Little Garden. I'm actually watching dubbed One Piece right now with my son, who I get every other weekend, and he's 10, and we just got through Little Garden, and the English dub is way better than I remember. I think when it initially came to the States, 4Kids did a horrendous, hilariously bad job at it, and since then the team behind Dragon Ball Z's dub is behind it. So like the same voice of Krillin is Usopp, Trunks is Sanji, and Teen Gohan is Luffy's voice, and I think they do a great job. But at Elbath, that's kind of Usopp's moment where he sees these giants and he's just like, oh man, I absolutely need to go to Elbath. And they bring that up every once in a while. Anytime he sees a giant, he's just like, oh man, I can't wait to go to Elbath. And so it would be a huge missed opportunity if they don't do anything with Elbath. Because I kind of feel like that's Usopp's kind of close to his all blue with Sanji and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we absolutely need to see that.
And also it will be like, there's been a trend since like Whole Cake Island where like Whole Cake Island was Sanji's second arc. And it seems like Wano is sort of like Zoro's second arc in a way. Like we've been getting more flashbacks to his childhood that may pay off later. He took up a new cursed sword that was like Odin's sword and stuff. So like that would sort of tie to like Usopp's second arc. And then I would like to see Nami get a second arc as well, but I don't think that she'll probably get one given just time constraints. But that would be fun to see. I'm not sure what it would be, but
that's kind of the plot thread with Nami that's interesting. Like everyone has like a main goal, and hers is just to map out the entire world. So there's not really like a dangling thread for Nami to grab. Like we're not hotly anticipating like Zoro versus Mihawk. Zoro versus Mihawk and Sanji finding the all blue and all that stuff. Sanji versus Mihawk.
Sanji versus
no, not Sanji. Sorry, Zoro. Like I think Zoro's got it in the bag now. I think
I'm not so sure.
We never saw the actual strength of Mihawk.
Like Mihawk,
Sanji found this paradise, guys. Do not forget that Sanji already found this paradise on Kamabaka Island. He will come back there and live happily as a. I would love to see Bon Clay again.
Oh yeah, I think it's been confirmed that Bon Clay has survived, right?
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
I hope so.
Exactly. I think I could be wrong on this, but I think that there was a cover story that didn't flat out say like him escaping with thumbs up or anything like that. But I think that there was a cover story that hinted that he is still alive and took over Ivankov's role in the hidden lair of prison.
I think you're right.
Oh man, how great would it be if like Final Conflict, Oda has said the final war arc is going to be even bigger than Marineford. Bon Clay shows up with all the prison inmates. He's like, we busted out of Impel Down again to help you, and you're like, oh my god, Bon Clay, like that'd be a good moment.
I'm looking forward to that. I think it will happen because Oda loves his parallels. The final war arc is going to have tons of parallels to Marineford. Like, there's no way it doesn't.
Absolutely.
The big point here, guys, is that that's going to be the next arc. Like he said that the Great War is coming right after Wano. So
Yeah, but Oda also said like 5 years ago that One Piece would be over in 5 years. So
oh yeah,
I feel like Oda like has the idea for where he wants it to go in his mind, but he thinks up something and he's like, actually, let's just take this slight detour before doing
and
this.
he enjoys being one of the richest men in Japan. So
Yeah,
is he? That is good to hear.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he's I think I've read a few weeks ago the amount of money that he makes every year. It's
good.
I mean, honestly, the man is a slave to his art. Like
like he deserves it. Like he's not in it for the money.
He does nothing else. Like he sleeps probably 4 hours every day. He doesn't see his family. So yeah, he totally deserves it.
I will be happy when One Piece I'll be sad when One Piece ends, of course, but I'll be happy when One Piece ends because I'll know that Oda will be free. He'll be able to actually see his family again.
I hope he's able to finish it before his health declines or something like that, because I mean,
I remember the big scare that was.
Oh yeah,
there was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he got put in a hospital or something, right? And for overwork.
Well, because I mean, we've had the artist behind Hunter x Hunter, his issues, and then
by the way, what happened to him?
I think he's just like he's got chronic pain, and
he has. I think he has something wrong with his hands where he can't draw as well anymore. So he just doesn't have the stamina for it.
And it was getting great, and the manga was getting super crazy.
Oh yeah. Like
I mean, and then what were you mentioning, Jason?
I was going to say, rest in peace, Mira, with Berserk. I mean, that's worst case scenario with One Piece is if Oda, I'm knocking on wood somewhere. I wish him all the luck, and I'm hoping he's able to finish it before he gets to a point where he can't anymore.
But do you guys know what happened to the guy behind I remember his name, Terraformers?
Oh no, I never read Terraformers.
Which series? Sorry.
Terraformers, the guys who go on Mars have to fight these super evolved cockroaches.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
I never read it. But
it was very popular until like a couple of years ago. Then it just stopped doing it. I don't know what happened, but check it out. It's it's really nice, actually.
Sorry, I might have misheard you. Did you say it was Earth Defense Force?
Terraform Mars, right?
Terraform Mars. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said when you said giant cockroaches. There's a whole game series called Earth Defense Force where giant cockroaches and bugs take over the planet and you just shoot them. But I'll have to check that out. Terraform Mars. I'd never heard of that. But yeah, one before we log off, one theory I've always had that I thought was really interesting to talk about. I've talked to a couple of my One Piece friends about it. What if Zoro already beat Mihawk?
Nah, I don't think that
on the training island. Like
I don't think that would happen off screen.
Oh yeah, because they trained together actually. Well, he trained him.
Yeah, he did train him, and I just thought that would be kind of it almost feels like an Oda joke where it'd be like, what if Luffy goes up, he's like, all right, well, I guess you still need to beat Mihawk, and then you'll be like, oh no, I forgot, I already
but that would make Mihawk weaker than King, which I don't think is the case.
Yeah. Like I mean, it's not going to happen off screen. We need a Mihawk fight where he goes all out on screen, like
boy, but what if it's just like a quick draw? Man.
I'm sure Oda would do it well.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Oh boy. Anticipation. So yeah, I know we're kind of getting close to the end here. Did you guys have any final thoughts on One Piece we wanted to talk about before we wrap it up?
I mean, I just want to say, like, I think One Piece is one of the most rewarding mangas to read week to week because there's just so much preparing for the future, payoff from the past. there's just so much going on. So I really look forward to our weekly discussions because like
Yeah,
it's
Me too.
it's just there's too much for one person to take in. So I'm sure we're all gonna bring things to the table and everyone else is gonna be like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Like
I'm looking forward to our next discussion.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, based on what you said, like I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
reading it as soon as the fan subs come out, hopefully today. But the official release is Sunday, and
Yeah.
we'll most likely talk about it on Monday.
Yeah.
Lovely.
But yeah, any final thoughts on anything on that, Francesca?
No, I mean, I second what Ben said.
Hell yeah.
Just it's really rewarding, and I'm looking forward to discussing it with you guys.
Excellent. Well, we'll go ahead and sign off. I think something we're going to do whenever we sign off is just kind of go around, and if you feel like plugging something or even recommending a new series or a movie or yeah, whatever you want to plug. So I'll let you go first, Ben. I'll wrap it.
Yeah. I don't have anything to plug right now. But if we're talking about a movie or something that we want to see, I know me and Jason were talking about this earlier. The Batman is really good.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. It's not your standard superhero film, and
No.
it's just it's a treat to watch. So
Yeah, it's a great almost like a noir. It is
yeah,
it's a lot of people have compared it to Seven.
yeah, it's very similar to Seven.
Yeah, I felt it was very comic book, very similar to the comic books in the way where, especially because it's a newer Batman. But yeah, we could talk about that for a whole another hour. So, but yeah, thanks, Ben. How about you, Francesca?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to plug at the moment. I will have something next time, and I will also maybe try to find some weird, unknown manga to suggest to our listeners next time. I'll remember that.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, that's been our series recap, essentially, where we're just kind of gabbing about One Piece. So then the next time you hear us talk about One Piece, we'll be able to focus on the new chapter. I am Jason Hahn, and please check out Screen Rant. We're all writers there. I write for Video Game News, and my lovely companions write for comics. And they're coming up with all kinds of very fun, interesting topics. Definitely worth checking out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Enjoyed this. Please like, comment, and subscribe your favorite bits and all that stuff with whatever we discussed. And anxious to talk and hear more from you. But yeah, thanks, guys.